for the advancing of the colors by the American Legion family, followed by our national anthem, Pledge of Allegiance, and the opening prayer, led today by a citizen from Los Angeles. Now would you please join me in singing the national anthem? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now would the citizen from Los Angeles please come up and do our opening prayer?
Bow your heads and pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunities that have been put in front of us, the friends that we will meet throughout this week, and the knowledge that we will gain. Amen.
All right, now please welcome to the stage the Honorable Judge Arthur Rush for the Girls State Citizens Oath.
Those of you who are Girl State members here, if you would turn to page 7 of your manual. Okay. Then please raise your right hand and repeat the oath along with me. As a citizen of the American Legion Auxiliary, South Dakota Girls State, I pledge that I will obey the rules of ALA South Dakota Girls State. I will be present for every portion of the ALA South Dakota Girls State session, and I will remain for its entirety. I will not leave ALA South Dakota Girls State without the permission of the ALA Girls State Director. I will take a serious and conscientious interest in discharging my duties as a citizen of ALA South Dakota Girls State. I understand this is an Americanism program and that it is a study of city, county, and state government. I will salute the American flag. I will, if elected or appointed to office, serve to the best of my ability. I will abide by the judgment of those responsible for this Americanism program. I will make a formal report on ALA South Dakota Girls State to my sponsoring group, the American Legion Auxiliary. I will respect the rights of my fellow citizens. I am not a member of and do not subscribe to the principles of any group opposed to our form of government. Thank you, and please sign the oath form in each of your manuals. Thank you.
You guys are good to say, yep. All right. Welcome to the first session of the 2019 American Legion Auxiliary South Dakota Girls State. Tonight you will get a chance to meet the wonderful individuals that worked tirelessly all year to make Girls State happen. Additionally, you will meet the girls from Journalism City, your junior and senior counselors, and finally, we will give tribute to those who sacrificed so much for us so we can have what we often take for granted, freedom. So first off, I'm gonna start by personally welcoming you. Hello everyone, my name is Calico Ducheneau and I am the 2018 Girls State Governor. I am from Mobridge, I grew up on a ranch and lived the small town lifestyle. And like most of you here, I love South Dakota and I am very thankful to have grown up here. For me, Girls State was a way for me to learn about my state and the government structures within it, but it also showed me that everyone has a place within these structures. So whether you are coming in with a head and heart full of aspirations for running for elected positions, or whether you were like me and didn't quite know what your place was going to be, I'm here to tell you that you will find a place here at Girls State. I'm so thankful that all of you are here, and please don't hesitate to ask me any questions along the way. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. Now, I would like to introduce you to the president of the South Dakota American Legion Auxiliary, Janine Lush. She has helped me personally throughout this year, and I know she will be there to help all of you this week.
Thank you, Calico. Welcome to the South Dakota American Legion Auxiliary Girls State 2019. By now you're wondering, what have I gotten myself into? Everyone is telling you that you are so lucky and that this will be one of the greatest weeks of your life. You will make friends that will last a lifetime. I know those statements, and they are difficult to believe right now, but it's true. As department president of the South Dakota American Legion Auxiliary, I cannot tell you how envious I am of you. I was never lucky enough to attend Girls' Day when I was a junior in high school. I can't wait. I had to wait until I became an auxiliary member to attend. I have seen girls leave Girls' State confident and determined young women. Girls' State can lead the girls into careers they want to pursue after high school, and maybe even something totally different. As department president, I chose Saddle Up for Veterans as my theme for the year. I think we all get together and work together for veterans. We can make the whole year work. During the week, you will be given a chance to participate in government of all levels. I hope that you will renew your love for God and country by becoming young, responsible citizens to this great nation and enjoy the freedoms you have and saddle up for veterans. The American Legion was the first national organization to adopt the poppy as its memorial flower. The memorial poppies are made of red crepe paper, handmade by disabled veterans. The red poppy symbolizes the blood shed during the battle following the publication of the wartime poem, Flanders Field. In September 27, 1920, the poppy became the official flower of the American Legion family to memorialize the soldiers that fought and died in the war. In 1924, the distribution of poppies became the national program of the American Legion Auxiliary. National Poppy Day is May 24th, 2019. The red poppy is nationally recognized symbol of sacrifice worn by Americans since World War I to honor those who served and died for our country in all wars. It reminds the Americans the sacrifice made by our veterans while protecting our freedoms. Wear a poppy to honor those who have worn our nation's uniform. All donations received by the use of the American Legion goes to American Legion auxiliary programs that support veterans and military in the community and their families. When you make it closer to graduation, you will reflect back on the decision that you made to attend Girl State as one of the better decisions. I know a lot of you already have. All of the members of the South Dakota American Legion Auxiliary wish you the best. I look forward to spending this week with you, the week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine, for your leadership. Now, USD has been home to South Dakota Girls State for 18 years now. I would like to thank this next speaker for the opportunity USD offers Girls State each year. It is my honor to welcome Carson Zubke, Student Government Association President.
Good evening, everyone. I want to start off by thanking the American Legion Auxiliary and the American Legion for sponsoring this week. Every year, Girl State is a success because of the dedication these women and men have for public service and community leadership. You guys have heard from a handful of phenomenal leaders already today, and that's just a portion of who you'll learn from for the rest of the week. Like Calico said, my name is Carson Zupke. I'm a junior business student here at the USD Beacom School of Business, originally from Waubee, South Dakota. I know we have a couple ladies from Waubee in the room with us this evening, and I hope you all can get an opportunity to meet with them and get to know them better throughout the week. Additionally, I am president of USD Student Government Association, student representative on the USD Alumni Association Board of Directors, and a member of Pi Kappa Alpha. Welcome to Vermilion. Welcome to the University of South Dakota, but most of all, welcome to 2019 Girls State. We at USD are honored to host this event and are committed to bringing the brightest civic leaders in our state to our home. USD is the flagship university in the state of South Dakota, offering state-of-the-art facilities, world-renowned faculty, and premier academic programs. All of this is complemented by a robust student life and competitive athletic programs. Hopefully you'll all find campus to be as wonderful as I do and are able to call it home in just a couple years. I'm proud to see so many bright faces in the room today. I remember when I was sitting in your seats at 2016 Boys State. I was a small town guy, not from a political family, not really knowing what I could expect from a leadership summit modeled around politics. But much like Boys State, Girl State goes past the political facade. It's an opportunity for you to stretch your boundaries, to meet people you didn't think you would have ever met, to engage in conversations you wouldn't have had, but most importantly, it sets the foundation for a lifetime of selfless leadership and provides lifelong friendships. You're all in a room with over 300 of the brightest minds our state has to offer, so take advantage of that. The Girl State Strategic Plan seeks to create an internal culture of goodwill and develop leadership at all levels. I'm sure that not all of you are interested in political careers. However, public service is not limited to political endeavors. Many of you will go on to become clergy members, doctors, entrepreneurs, service women, business leaders, researchers, philanthropists, really that list goes on. Some notable Girl State alumni are already doing that nationally and locally. There's Marilyn Paja, who's a Washington District Judge and active member of the legal community. Jane Pauley is an American television journalist, author, and anchor of CBS Sunday Morning. Michelle D. Johnson is a retired Lieutenant General of the United States Air Force. And in the room with us tonight is Allison Monson, who you guys will get to know through the rest of the week, who was recently elected to serve her second term as SDSU Student Association President and was 2015 Girl State Governor. And a good friend of mine is Hannah Booth, who is an active member of the 2016 Girls State and serves as my vice president on USD Student Government Association. So my advice for all of you is enjoy this week. Enjoy this week and make the experiences your own. Take advantage of the opportunities while you're here to meet as many brilliant people as you can and push yourself out of your comfort zone. After this week, you're part of a family who will help you achieve self-fulfillment through service, and a wonderful group of women who will support you for a lifetime. So on behalf of everyone at USD, welcome to Vermilion, and go Yotes.
All right, so this next extraordinary woman I am about to introduce to you, I have had the honor of spending time with this past year. She's not only the director of Girls State, but is the reason Girls State is what it is today. She works so hard throughout the year to help make Girls State bigger and better each year. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Cheryl Havorka, Director of South Dakota Girls State.
Thank you, Governor Calico. Good evening, ladies. This week is a team effort. We have the American Legion Auxiliary, the primary sponsor of the program, the University of South Dakota for allowing us to completely take over their campus for the week, the auxiliary volunteers that spend the week behind the scenes, all the counselors, Tiffany Newman, my assistant director and right-hand person, Melissa Hessman, who keeps everything running in our headquarters, and all the professional people that will be in and out of here all week that believe in you as young leaders. And so on behalf of all of these, I welcome you to the 2019 American Legion Auxiliary Girls State Program. This is the 73rd anniversary for this program, and we are proud to share it with you. You are a very unique group of young women that have been selected to attend this program, not only on your academic achievements, but also because of your leadership and citizenship. Since the beginning of ALA Girls State in 1937, over 1 million young women have had the opportunity to learn firsthand how their state and local government work. The week is filled with a lot of exciting learning opportunities, and we encourage you to take full advantage. The key word for the week is be involved. You will learn firsthand about city, county, and state government. I cannot stress enough the importance of being involved. It truly will make your week at ALA Girls State a very memorable week. You will learn that you can make a difference. You will be hearing a lot about patriotism, something we have all taken a total different attitude towards since September 11th, 2001. The American Legion family is there supporting not only our troops, but their families in the community. Tonight, our flag presentation by the Vermilion American Legion Auxiliary is a demonstration of the Legion family. They are representing the American Legion Auxiliary, and the American Legion Junior Auxiliary. Other members of the Legion family are the Sons of the Legion and the Legion Riders. We are very fortunate to have the great opportunities and freedom that so many have taken for granted. On behalf of the men and women, veterans, I thank you for your generous donations to the Sioux Falls VA this afternoon. It is greatly appreciated. Our mascot for the week will be Rory the Lion. Rory is proud to be an American, and we should be too.
Hi, I'm Rory the Lion, and I'm proud to be an American. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The American Legion Auxiliary has given you a great opportunity to attend ALA Girls State, and I wish you the best for the week. And may this be a week that will make a difference in your life. And to quote the late W.O. Doc Farber, the bronze statue that you will see outside of the ALA Girls State headquarters, think of the possibilities. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Cheryl, for your commitment to this program. Now, Girls State is a full functioning government run by you. Throughout the week, each city, county, and the state will choose their elected officials. However, there is a part of government that is also represented here at Girls State outside of politics. Those are the girls in Journalism City. Please welcome Brianna Schurz to introduce to you the citizens of Journalism City.
Hey y'all. So there's a quote that's in our hall right now, and it's by Pope Francis, and it says, "Informing others means forming others." It means that telling a story can shape someone else's life. And this is exactly what we're going to do this week with journalism. Not all of you will work in journalism during your life, but more than likely you will read a print newspaper or watch television. It is important that your voice is represented on all of those platforms. Through this process, we can avoid all living in darkness without using our media outlets to stay informed, especially in government work. At South Dakota Girls State, 10 delegates make up Journalism City this year, you will see reporting on events this week together. These journalists will learn the ins and outs of the media industry by providing each of you with a print coverage of the week and social media updates. I'd like to talk briefly with you about the importance of journalists at Girls State and within your local and national governments and how your city can be involved with Journalism City this year. I'd like to first start talk about a bit of background information on the importance of news media. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution states that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the press. Not only does that apply to you individually and the rights that you have to speak freely as a citizen, but it also applies to our journalists and the responsibility they have to cover politics and other stories that we all read to stay informed. A journalist's job is to keep watch over all political figures and events and inform the public. They are known as the fourth estate of government, and they are given this name because of their job to watch the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. This ensures that your rights are protected and you are a informed voter and citizen. Journalism City delegates will exercise that freedom this week. Starting Wednesday morning, you will find a daily newspaper known as the Sacagawea Scroll. I got it wrong, guys. I can't say it. Outside your room. We will publish 4 newspapers this week for you to read and take home. In this newspaper, you'll find stories our journalists have created by interviewing your South Dakota representatives, photographing events, and managing our social media accounts every day. Speaking of social media, I hope you all take advantage of the accounts that we've created and use them to make this week interactive and memorable. You can follow South Dakota Girls State on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Those handles are SD Girls State. One word, no spaces. And we'll use those accounts over the week to cover events and post updates. And we hope you take your own photos and videos and use the hashtag SDGirlsState19 so we can see all your posts and maybe even get them in our daily newspaper. We've also this year created a scavenger hunt that we hope you'll interact with and we'll award you a great prize afterward. So I'll go into detail in how it's working. So at each day, we'll announce what the challenge is, and each city has their own hashtag. It'll be SDGirlsState19 followed by the name of your city. So for example, SDGirlsState Boston, or SDGirlsState19 Boston. And each post challenge is due at 10 p.m. and we'll have 3 challenges during each day, and on the end, we'll tally them on Thursday. So today's challenge that is due at 10 is you take a picture of your roommate, on Instagram, by the way, sorry. So post a picture of your roommate, a dance party in the hallway, and a pic in front of the coyote statue. We will be excited to see your posts. So, and also, I was told that there is a new Girls State website, and you can tell your parents to watch live streams on there. It's alasdgirlsstate.org. So with that, I also understand that you guys elected your PR directors tonight. So this is how you can encourage or interact with us too. So each night after each morning General Assembly, I will be up here and I will give you PR sheets for your city, and they are due every day at 3 p.m. in the Volant office. It's over there. It's a huge building. It has the First Amendment on it. So please come see me after this General Assembly if you are in charge of that responsibility so we can get you started. So I think that's everything I have. Thanks so much, and we're excited to cover you this Girls State.
Okay, so the next group I'm about to introduce really doesn't need an introduction. They were the first faces you met as you checked into your city. Throughout this week, you will find that some are quirky, some are loud, some are spontaneous, some are distinguished, and some are just kind of crazy all around. I know you will enjoy getting to know them as much as I have. Please welcome Amber Alvey, Dean of Counselors, as she introduces the 2019 Girls State Senior Counselors and Junior Counselors.
All right, so my name is Amber Elvey. I am the senior counselor for Washington. So, thank you. And I'm also the dean of counselors, so I have the honor of being able to introduce all of the lovely ladies who are on the side aisles that you were able to meet today. First off, though, I want to first thank Cheryl, Tiffany, Melissa. All of the work that you put into this week does not go unnoticed, and I am especially grateful as I moved into this role for the support that you've given me. I want to thank USD for hosting, even though it's hard being a jackrabbit to be on USD's campus. But I also want to thank the tech crew in the back who does so much for us. So shout out to the people in the back. And then lastly, I just want to thank our auxiliary women and our volunteers because your presence here really makes Girls State memorable, and each of you are valuable to this program, and I'm so glad that each of you are able to come back. And so lastly, I just get the opportunity to introduce your senior and junior counselors. But before I do that, I have a couple words of encouragement for you. So first off, congrats on being here. I'm originally from Scotland, South Dakota, so I was able to come a long time ago, and so if there's any Scotland members in there, I would love to come talk to you. But it is an exhausting but exciting week, and it is an honor to be here. So Girls State is going to challenge you. You're gonna win elections, you're gonna lose elections, and that's okay. But you're going to gain so much from being here. You're gonna gain forever the memories that you make here at Girls State. You're gonna gain the knowledge of how the government works, of how to run an election, and of how to meet new people and be able to be spontaneous. And lastly, you're gonna gain friendships. And so I encourage you to take advantage of that. Some of my very best friends are up here on the side aisles, and they're people that I have met here at Girls State and have maintained those friendships over the years. So don't be afraid to lean on each other as this week goes on. And so I just encourage you to make the most of this week, to take chances, and to step outside of your comfort zone. And to most of all, be present, because there's only 1 week here and it flies by. And the only thing that you'll have to look back on is the memories and the friendships that you made. And so I am so excited to witness the growth that each of you are going to grow in the way that you are here this week, and I'm excited to see the positions you run for and how each of you interact with one another. So without further ado, I have the honor of first introducing my senior counselors. So first off, I have a senior counselor who represents New York, Jennifer Miller. Next, we have Chicago, Lindsay Klunder. From Philadelphia, we have Grace Doden. From Detroit, we have Jenna Keene. From Los Angeles, we have Riley Asby. From Cleveland, we have Emily Lukens. From Baltimore, we have Taya Swanson. From St. Louis, we have Shelby Specht. From Boston, we have Allison Munson. From Miami, we have Brooke Eidsness. From Seattle, we have Mackenzie Gooley. From Minneapolis, we have Sydney Powers. From St. Paul, we have Macy Weiserek. And then lastly, from Journalism City, we have Brianna Schurz. So these are the lovely ladies who are representing you this week. I will have you stay on stage. I just hope that you really take into mind the amount of work that the senior counselors put in, decorating your halls, making sure everything's ready. They are willing to work to make your week great, and so please don't be afraid to ask them questions or to lean on them as the week goes on. But we have the exciting thing that we are going to do next, and so it is going to be introducing the Girl State song. So I know that every single one of you have read the binders top to bottom. And so in the back on page 63, there is our Girl State song. If you'd like to take out your binders to follow along, I will have you do that now. Okay. Bring it on in, ladies. Okay. So we have the senior counselors up here, and they are going to teach you how to do the Girl State song. So we're first going to start with an example from our lovely senior counselors, and I would love to have a volunteer, aka Brianna, to start us off in this Girl State song. Please start us. Okay. Yes. All right. Choral dance. Raise your voices, raise them high, sing to Girl State. Look to Girl State and you'll find tomorrow's leaders of mankind. We are We are starting now. Yes. All right, ready? Raise your voices, raise them high. Sing to Girl State, and here's why. Look to Girl State, and you'll find tomorrow's leaders of mankind. We are. Okay, senior counselors, I'll have you exit. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Right. I pronounced your right name right. All right, so you, by the end of the week, will not need your binders. We are going to wean off of that slowly but surely. So that will be something that we will sing at General Assembly, so make sure you start to memorize it, and it'll become familiar soon enough. So now that I introduced the senior counselors, I also have another very important group to announce, and that is your junior counselors. And so you've obviously had the chance to meet them. They are very energetic young ladies who do a lot to help us out and do a lot of running around. So if you get the opportunity to thank them, please do so. I will first start with our JC from Minnehaha County, Sarah Teen. From Brown County, we have MJ Jensen. From Beadle County, we have Katie Brading. From Pennington County, we have Cameron McDonnell. From Coddington County, we have Shayna Detterman. So Hughes County, we have a special volunteer who decided to help us out, and that is your very own governor, Calico Ducheno. And then lastly, we have Brookings County, and that is Caitlin Cromer. And then two other JCs we have are for Journalism City, and so first we have Talia Pilker. And then secondly, we have Addie Nelson. All right, so senior counselors, I will please have you enter the aisles next to your cities, if you would. So what better opportunity to thank these lovely ladies? What we do here at Girl State is we have a lot of great speakers who have a lot of great things to say, and we want to give them a great thank you. And so we do our own special Girl State thank you here, which is going to be a little bit complicated at first, but I'm going to talk you through it. So what we do is that you can stay up here, that's fine. I want the JCs to stay up to be recognized, and we're gonna thank them for the hard work that they've been doing. So you have a senior counselor that is standing next to your city, and so we are going to spell out the words thank you, and then say thanks from South Dakota Girls State. And each city is assigned to one piece of that puzzle. So we start up here with Detroit and Journalism City. You're the T in the spelling out of thank you. So it's gonna go T, and then Philadelphia, you're gonna stand up and you're gonna say H. So you're gonna stand up when you do it, not all at once. And then back there after that, then you have Miami saying A, N is Seattle, and then K is Minneapolis. Then you have Y is St. Paul, O is New York, U is Chicago, and then St. Louis, you are the ones who are gonna start with the thanks, and then Baltimore, you're going to say from, and then Boston, you are saying south, Washington, you are saying Dakota, Cleveland, you are saying girls, Los Angeles, you are saying state, and then all of us at once, at the very end, once state is said, we all stand up and say thanks. Does that make sense? Yes. So guess what? We're gonna try it out and see how it goes. So how about let's practice by thanking the junior and senior counselors for their work, okay? Let's start with Detroit. We're spelling out thank you. Ready, go. That would be great. Thank you so much. So the goal there is to be the most energetic. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you practice it one more time, and I want you to have the same amount of energy that Cleveland and Los Angeles had. All right, we gotta do it, and we gotta do it proud. Ready, go. the best thank you I have ever seen. So great job. So anytime we have a speaker, after they're done, we are going to be giving them that Girl State thank you. So make sure to remember that when we have speakers today. But that's all that I have. I hope you all have a great week.
That was so cool. Okay. So thank you, counselors. We look forward to getting to know each and every one of you better throughout this week. For our opening session tonight, I am honored to introduce a past governor, Emily Furman Pieper, to deliver the Welcome to ALA Girls State address. Emily served as governor in 1994 and has gone on to have many accomplishments since. Her energy is contagious and message will leave you all ready for a week of laughter, fun, and learning. Please help me in welcoming Emily Furman Pieper.
I got it. Hello? No. It literally says dead battery. Hello? Cleveland's still like, hey! Did you hear our thank you? We were like, wow. Thank you for those thank yous, which you haven't even had to give me yet. I'm just excited for you. Okay. I realized on the drive here that this assembly and me being at it is the 25th anniversary of me being in your seat when I was the delegate. So over the years, as I've come back to speak and say, hey, welcome, every year it's been like, oh, you were 2, you were 1, you were not born, and now you guys really weren't born, because like, whew, pretty soon, my kid is going to be the one at Girl State, and I'm just going to be like, just go. Just practice thanking people by standing and yelling. Just go. So thank you very much. I'm super excited to be back at USD because I came here a couple of times for a couple of degrees because, you know, once you get to know it, you're like, yeah, I'm going back. I'm going back again. So next time I'll be on the list, right? Right? Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. One thing that I do want to point out, as we are all coming from different parts of South Dakota to get here, I wanted to do a little figuring on where everybody comes from, okay? So if you had to travel only, let's say, less than 10 miles to get here, say that's me. Look at you locals. Thanks for having us. Good to see you. How about if you are anywhere within East River, South Dakota, that's me. Okay, how about our intrepid travelers from West River? That's me. Okay, not too bad. It tends to, like how far, where's Vermilion? Like summer, what am I doing? Right? But here you are, you made it, okay? Part of what really strikes me about coming across South Dakota, like I live in Flandreau. We made a drive. My parents chauffeured me because they still know that I can't be trusted. There's my mom and dad. I see Tony and Denise. Hello, Mom and Dad. I'm like, hi, Mom and Dad. And I brought my AV team. This is my daughter, Amelia, up here with all the cameras. Hello, Amelia. She's like, oh, Mom. And somewhere out in internet land are my boys, Anthony and Atticus. I know I'm acting like I could see them. I can't see you, I'm sorry. And my husband, Eric. So hello, internet land. There's live stream. There's always got to be somebody that holds down the front, so thank you for that. And we'll be home late. So in our travels, this has been an amazingly weird weather year, right? Like, we're like, hey, hey, let's go to school this week. Okay, not all of this week, maybe a day. Blizzard for everyone. Let's do that again next week. It's been insane. And then summer. That's been the whole second semester. But as we drive here, you can see like the standing water in the fields. And when we heard our governor introduce herself and say that she comes from ranching areas and different things, we've gone through a lot of stuff as South Dakotans already, right, for this year. And part of what that brings me to in the world of Girls State and how we're looking at ourselves as this group that can come together and engage in this civics exercise is the idea that we can't forget the land from where we come from, like where this is all happening. I've been involved with a few organizations lately who have done a land acknowledgement, and I just thought that is so cool, because sometimes we get so wrapped up in the idea that, like, I just get from A to B. I'm used to driving an hour to get to a movie. I don't think about the land I'm crossing. I think about the playlist on iTunes, and so putting ourselves back in touch with our history and the generations that have come before us, and especially when we talk about a 73-year anniversary of Girls State, and I'm counting down to 25 years for myself and some of those things, I thought it would be kind of cool to offer something similar in that realm of a land acknowledgement. So I wouldn't get it wrong. This is one of the few things I'm ever going to write down and read off of a piece of paper, but that's how important I think it is. So I want to acknowledge that we gather on the traditional lands of the Oceti Sakowin, the people of the Seven Council Fires, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have been its caretakers throughout generations. So if we can just take a minute to acknowledge that none of us got here without a long history of people and support and networks and that entire piece that brought us to this point, that would be fantastic. I know that's not my cell phone going off because mine's in my pocket. Yeah, Mia's like, it's not me, I don't know. Okay, so in a very roundabout way, that brings me to my next point, the idea of our history and our generations that come up to build up to you. Right? Think of your DNA, think of all those little strands and all that stuff that gives you this beautiful dark hair, these bright blue eyes, or these, curly frizz on these humid South Dakota days, whatever it is, the tall chickness or the I'm vertically challenged, whatever that is, okay? When you think of all of that, it brings into mind kind of that ripple effect, right? The idea that something that we do can have an impact somewhere else, okay? So when I came to Girls State, it wasn't something that I had on my radar necessarily. I wasn't really like this, I'm going to go into high school and be the president of all the things and do all of the clubs and all of that. I was like, I'll take pictures for yearbook, I guess, maybe. It was like little Oral and Terp. And that was about it, right? So by the time I got into some of these older grades and figured out, there's like camps, there's opportunities. I can go away from my brothers for a couple of days. No, I was the youngest. They were already gone. Okay. I love you guys. Come home. All right. So when I got to the stage where I could go to Girls State, I actually thought, okay, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And then in some weird, I don't know where this came from, this weird moment of like, well, if I'm going to go to Girls State, I guess I should just see what it's like to try to go for governor, because that's what it's about, right? Like, we take risks, we take opportunities, we go out of our comfort zones, we explore, we try to figure out what might be next, right? So we go through the process and then learn, okay? So I go to my parents and I'm like, so there's this thing, Girls State, and I really want to go, and I'm going to have an interview with the Legion Auxiliary ladies, and I think I'm going to go and try to be governor. And they were like, oh, honey. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Oh, Emily, why don't you just go and have fun? Just meet some friends. And I was like, you don't sound real excited about the fact that I'm going to try to go for governor on this. And they were like, oh, honey, we don't want you to get your feelings hurt. And I was like, excuse me? I'm like, come again? Like, where did my cheerleaders go, you know? So there was this moment of like fear and trepidation that came across my parents' faces, and I was like, well, you go do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna go run for governor, and I'll let you know how that turns out. So, in the world of ripple effects, I would like to invite my father to come on stage for a moment. You see, I have to say, Tony Furman is my favorite veteran from the Vietnam War era. Even though he says he never saw Vietnam, he toured all over Europe with a drum because he was part of the Air Force band. So, you know, maybe one year we'll get the drum. We'll have to bring the drum. But I need him to explain this concept of the ripple effect, because I don't think I could do it justice. So, Madam Governor, if I may cede my speaking time to my father for just a moment, I would appreciate that opportunity. Thumbs up. Okay, all right.
Trying to leave. Good evening. I think we've just been portrayed as a really bad example of how not to parent, but one ripple effect, if I could. I did probably say those things about just have fun and don't overextend. I didn't realize that she would call back in about 3 days and say, I'm governor. Wow. Yes, we were surprised. And very pleased. Seriously, there's a ripple effect from this whole thing. I had recently retired from many years working with the Flandre Indian School, and Emily came home with such enthusiasm, and her improved knowledge of the government process, it got to me that maybe I should run for office. But I had one trick up my sleeve. I said, I will run if you'll be my campaign manager. And she was. And she did. And I ran for county commission of Moody County and was elected by a landslide. No. I'm sorry, that was a fib. It was 14 votes. And I think the other guy demanded a recount, but that's another story. Seriously, sometimes we self-limit. And I believe what I saw from my daughter and from her involvement in Girl State was there is no self-limit. The sky is the limit. And she showed me that I could get involved in politics and do something meaningful for my county and my community and my people. And I've never forgotten it, and don't think that you will either. Thanks for letting us come. No, I didn't. Next year, you're coming by yourself.
See the ripple effect? I had no idea, and he's all like, I'll run for county commissioner. I was like, wow, Dad, good for you. You'll run my campaign. What? I'm like, did I run for county commissioner? I couldn't even remember all the things, but it worked out, you know, and the fun thing is those principles, you know, where you can reach out and say, I'm inspired to do something. We see those inspiration moments all over the place, but Girl State is like a petri dish for it, okay? You have to be the people that make that the right environment. You know, where it has to be just a certain temperature, and you've got the slime in the dish, and you do the thing, and then it's like, gross. Okay, that went downhill. But the idea is you get to make Girl State what it's going to be for you, but you also might be making it what it's going to be for somebody else, right? I don't know how much fun I had working on other people's campaigns, listening to other people's opinions, learning other viewpoints that I thought, oh my gosh, I've never even thought about that before. That's amazing, right? The idea that a Girl State can be the first point where we learn within a political system to lift each other up, that is amazing. All boats rise together, right? Somebody in this room is going to go home saying, I got to be governor. This is amazing. Somebody is going to go home and say, I got to be the dog catcher of Cleveland. Amazing. Right? we don't know. Right now, you're all just kind of the, where are we? What is happening? Who are these people? I can see you just enough to know you've got that moment going on. That's why I had to bring my dad up here, put you all straight, okay? Right? But I highly, highly encourage you to take those risks, go out of your comfort zone. You're already here. You've done all of the baby steps that it took to get you here. Your families have said, go on, it's going to be okay. We'll watch on Facebook. You're going to be great. And now it's your chance. And the fun thing is, it might take a little while, and that's okay too. You might end up going back to school and saying, yeah, this thing. And then another election cycle comes around and you're like, wait, I know what they're talking about. I can totally get involved with this. I could even run for that. And you should, right? So all those little self-doubt moments, all of those little wait, who am I to do that type of thing? My big question for you is, who are you not to? So enjoy Girls State, challenge yourselves, meet everyone. Meet everyone. I still go into places where I was at a housing meeting in Wall this last week, and somebody walked up and went, Girls State, oh my gosh, you were governor. I was Journalism City. And I was like, of course, right? This is 25 years ago. Hey, right? But those things are real, and because we are South Dakotans, those connections are going to stick for a long, long, long time, okay? So enjoy it, take a risk, meet all the people, engage yourself where you never thought it was possible, and lift each other up. Celebrate everybody's success. This week is a success for you. Make it real. Make those ripples, and have fun. Thank you.
Dang, that was so good. Oh man, I just got chills. It's so cool. Here is your little notepad if you want it back. Yes, I would. And I appreciate the landed velvet so much. Okay, wasn't that just amazing? Can we give her another round of applause? Oh. Got all the feels. All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Now I'd like to move our focus to the main reason we all get to be here today. Every day we get to wake up and experience new adventures, challenges, and make memories. It is a gift that we can live this day in freedom and in a country that is proud and strong. It is time now that we give thanks to those individuals that allow us to experience every day in the great United States of America. I present to you, in remembrance of those who fought so graciously and strong, Byron Calise, past National Vice Commander and past South Dakota American Legion Commander, for our military tribute.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be here. And as I'm listening to all the comments, I'm reminded of back when I was in a speech class. They said, never follow toddlers, animals, and a ball of fire like that. So now you've got me. Just a few words. Something that stuck with me probably about 30 years ago, and the words were, you do what you want to do. And those have stuck with me, and every time I think of a decision I'm going to make, I do what I want to do. And sometimes we don't do what we don't want to do. Our last speaker talked about running for governor, running for dog catcher, running for mayor. How many want to try that? 2? Okay, a few more. But you do what you want to do. 100 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that, my grandfather came over from Denmark. He was 16 years old. He did what he wanted to do. And within 2 years after he got here, he joined the Army. He was a World War I vet. And when I say that now, my grandfather was a World War I vet. That makes me feel pretty old. My father did what he wanted to do. He joined the Navy in World War II and spent time in the Pacific. When I was a senior in high school, I did what I wanted to do. I joined the Army during the Vietnam War. My two boys joined the Army and the Navy. They did what they want to do. They did what they wanted to do. So I'm thinking about this as I look at a group of 350 plus young ladies, enthusiastic ladies, full of life, full of enthusiasm to have a fun week. We talked about how fast and how exciting this is going to be during this week. I talked to the Boy Staters about 5 or 6 years ago, and about the time there was a movie out, Fast and Furious #7. Anybody remember that? I thought I was imagining things. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, this week I think you can name this Fast and Furious #73, because that's the 73rd year that you're part of the girls' state. Now, as I said before, I was in the Army. Over there on the corner, we have wreaths depicting all the various service branches. We have the Army, which is the oldest service. We have the Navy, we have the Marines, we have the Air Force, and the Coast Guard. Now, statistically, 7% of you in the audience will join the military. Any volunteers? Yeah, that looks like about 7%. And statistically, in the service now, 14% are women. That's a little low, I think. Women do tremendously great things in the service. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're nurses. They do wonderful things in the service. And I would hope that it would be up to 20%, but that's just me. So I wish you all well in this week, Fast and Furious #73. And as you go home from here, take with you a real love of the government that you have in this country. You know, I was thinking about tonight as I was sitting here, the freedoms that we had, and I think one of the speakers talked about, I think it was the Press Association people, talked about the 4 freedoms of the freedom of the press. We have a freedom of speech. Not all countries have that. We have freedom of religion. We have freedom to assemble. We have freedom of the press. Not all countries have that. But as I think about those freedoms, who bought and paid those for you? Anybody have an answer? The veterans. The veterans like my grandfather in World War I, my dad in World War II, Vietnam War, today the war that's going on since 1990. Each generation adds more veterans. And it's appropriate today on Memorial Day that we honor the veterans who have given so much so that we can sit here in a chair, a comfortable chair, cheer, shout, give our opinions, vote as you turn 18. The veterans are the ones that did it for you. So thank you for coming here and learning about our way of government that we fought and died for. I hope you all do well, and I hope you consider someday serving your country even more. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for that, and I think he really did touch on everything, and we are so lucky to be here today. and we are so lucky to have the freedom that we have in this country. So now Cheryl's going to come out real quick, do the thank you. Oh, do the thank you. That's what you meant. Sorry. I'm new to this. Okay, so we are going to give a thank you real quick. The girls say thank you thing, you know, we just did it with the T and the H and everything like that. So I think I just like point and then you start. So I'm going to do that. Ready?
That was great, ladies. We will now have the presentation of a memorial wreath. Making the presentation is President of the South Dakota American Legion Auxiliary, State President Jeannie Lausch, and representing past, present, and future veterans is Byron Callis. Please stand. Governor Calico will lead us in God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with hope. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. All right, everyone. We have now reached the end of the first session of the 2019 South Dakota Girls State. As we conclude, let us remember to be diligent in our activities, dignified in our words, and above all, patriotic in our actions. Please rise for our prayer from a citizen of Los Angeles and then the retiring of the colors. She coming? All right, cool. Sounds good, sounds good.
Good evening. My name is Margaret Samp. Please join with me in prayer and bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray your blessing upon every flowering woman you have placed at this event. Give our speakers clarity and strength through their speech. Bless these women's health, both spiritually, physically, and mentally. Give us strength to step outside of our comfort zones and become one family here. Grow our minds and opinions in our government knowledge. Help us to be kind and gracious with one another, and help this week to be amazing. God bless the men and women wearing our country's uniforms that are fighting to keep our country free. Bless the families that mourn the loss of their loved ones and protect those away from home. Let this week allow us to grow, but allow us to reflect on how we and our country got here. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Okay, so real quick, before we're done here, we have a lost and found item. So this is gonna be a thing we do. This is gonna be a thing we do. If something gets lost, just find me, get it to me, and yeah, you're gonna have to come do something on stage. So can I have Elizabeth Fullen please come to the stage to collect your binder, which is also known as your Bible, so you should not lose it. Are you out there somewhere, Elizabeth? I see ya. Okay. So each time people forget things, we're going to make them do some sort of weird thing. So I mentioned that I grew up on a ranch, so I thought the most fitting thing for her to do would be to do her best animal impression for us on stage. What do we think? Is that all right? All right. All right, you're just gonna come right up here. You can get the mic or not. It's up to you. You can do whatever animal you want. Somebody give me an animal.
Cow? Okay. I'm from a ranch too,
You
so.
got this, sis. You got this.
Wow.
All right. So real quick, you know, I don't have a roommate, but I really want to do the whole Journalism City challenge that they were talking about. So I thought, I don't know if this is a thing that's going to work, but I thought if I took a big selfie with everyone, I don't know, maybe that would work for it. Would that work, Journalism City? Okay, so I'm just going to do a little panorama real quick of everyone. So I'll get everyone in there. Okay, we're going to start here. It's a little video. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's see all these beautiful people. Two. Yes. Two. I want to Okay, all right. So this concludes the first session of 2019 South Dakota ALA Girls State.